Egypt strongly condemned the explosion that hit the center of Iraq's southern city of al-Basra that killed at least 4 people and wounded 4 others. A statement issued by the foreign ministry expressed Cairo's sincere condolences to the Iraqi government and people as well as the families of the deceased, wishing a speedy recovery for the injured. As per the directives of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, a military jet loaded with large quantities of medical and humanitarian aid took off from an eastern Cairo military air base to Juba International Airport. Egypt sent medical and humanitarian support to South Sudan as part of its continued support and solidarity with Juba in the face of various crises. Arab League chief Ahmed Abul Gheit said on Tuesday that he respected Sudanese Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok's decision to step down and called for urgent action to resolve the crisis. Abul Gheit called on the Sudanese partners to engage in the necessity of joining action as a matter of urgency in order to reach a ground of understanding that allowed preserving the important gains that had been achieved during the past 2 years and achieve the aspirations of the Sudanese people for stability, development, and the hope for democratic transition. For his part, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres regretted that a political understanding on the way forward was not in place despite the gravity of the situation in Sudan. Syrian state media said on Monday that 5 Syrian soldiers were killed and 20 others injured in a rocket attack by Daesh terrorist group on a military transport bus on Sunday in the east of the country. Daesh group that declared the caliphate straddling parts of Syria and Iraq in 2014 has lost all territory that was under its control in 2019. Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati said that he would convene the cabinet within days for the first time in early 3 months once it receives the 2022 budget. Mikati made these remarks after a meeting with President Michel Aoun on Wednesday, adding that this should happen within the next 2 days. The Hezbollah group and its ally Amal movement have refused to allow the cabinet to meet since October 12, demanding the removal of a judge investigating the devastating 2020 explosion in Beirut port. The Arab-led coalition fighting in Yemen received a distress signal from an oil tanker after it was subjected to armed harassment of Yemen's Hodeidah port. Saudi state media said there were high-risk indicators in waters of Hodeidah port on the Red Sea. Earlier on Wednesday, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, part of the British Royal Navy, issued an advisory that a vessel near Salif port north of Hodeidah reported a suspicious approach by an unknown craft.
Right, welcome back. And before the World Youth Forum kicks off officially on Monday, a number of preparatory workshops are being held from starting today and tomorrow. The need to review the 2030 SDGs and the future of the African continent, a number of issues that really has grave importance on the future of our generations to come, are being held in workshops in those 2 days. The World Youth Forum has already released a statement on the topics of the panel discussions so far. Also, a number of other issues will be taking place and a number of topics will be discussed during the 2 days forum. Before we start with discussion or with discussing those topics, let's first have a quick look on the preparations of the World Youth Forum, and we'll come back for more discussion.
The World Youth Forum 4th edition kicks off in Sharm el-Sheikh under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi from the 10th to the 13th of January. The forum will discuss a number of vital issues that concern the current situation after the COVID-19 pandemic. The topics set to be tackled during the forum sessions fall under 3 main axes, namely peace, innovation, and development. The forum's organizers said that several workshops would be held to discuss the effect of the coronavirus on achieving Sustainable Development Goals 2030, the African continent's future, and the future of fintech or financial technology in emerging markets. The preparatory workshops also focus on the Decent Life Initiative, considering it as Egypt's experience for developing human resources. More than 500,000 youth from 196 countries have registered for the event at its official website. In the run-up for the forum, the World Youth Forum spokeswoman Sara Badr said that the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh has almost completed preparations for the 4th edition of the World Youth Forum. The spokeswoman added that holding the forum amid the COVID-19 crisis underscored the ability of youth to organize the global gathering that advocated dialogue among youth. Badr said that the main theme of the 2022 edition of the WYF will be post-pandemic recovery as well as energy.
Right, welcome back, and to highlight the topics and the measures and preparations for the 4th edition of the World Youth Forum, we have with us over the phone Mr. Dr. Mohammed Amer, Coordinator of International Relations and Conferences. Good afternoon to you, Dr. Amer.
Good afternoon, Dr.
Thank you so much for being with us, and let me know from you the preparations that were made, the organization of such a huge event, participants and the number of youth who are attending the forum, all the measures that were taken for, or the precautionary measures that were taken in order to receive safely those youth. Tell me all about it, sir.
Yes, of course. I'd like to reiterate what His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said 3 years ago, that the forthcoming years are going to be dedicated to youth. And here we are in charge of one of the most promising and one of the most prestigious events dedicated to youth. The World Youth Forum takes the symbol of peace, creativity, and development as major symbols in order to send a message to the whole world. We are here in order to organize an event that focuses mainly on the problems and issues of the youth of the world. The agenda of the forum itself focuses on major issues such as COVID-19 issues, for example, water crises around the world, and also food crises as well. It comes after the precautionary measures of COVID-19. So the main symbol of the WIF here is to focus on the world after, or the post-COVID-19 world. You can see that every single precautionary measure is being taken into account here, and all these measures are taken into consideration by the organization of the WIF. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi sent an invitation to the whole world in order to witness what the Egyptians and what the Egyptian people and what the Egyptian young people can do in this regard. So, personally, as one of the members of the organizing committee of the WIF, I want to send a message of peace, creativity, and development to the whole world. Please come to Egypt and welcome to the world.
Dr. Mohammed, I was asking you first about the measures that were taken in order to be able to receive all those youth, or this huge number of people, particularly from youth,
yes,
who will be attending.
The numbers, you can see that Egypt sends invitations to the whole world, and you can see that WIF is one of the biggest events focusing on youth around the world. You can see that we have closer to 5,000 young people taking place in this event.
Yes, I'm speaking about the measures.
It's a big number. In the world of organizing committees and events, it's a very big number, by the way.
Yes, actually, I was speaking about the measures. We know that we are living in the COVID-19 pandemic, and there are fears of such huge gatherings. So Egypt has made precautionary measures in order to be able to receive all those youth and participants.
Of course. You can see that every single corner in the event is mainly focusing on the precautionary measures. The symbol itself of the event is back together. Back together, it means that we have been in a break because the COVID-19 problem. So now we are together again, back in Egypt. But to take into consideration most of or all the precautionary measures, including maintaining social distancing, wearing and putting on face masks, distributing hand gels, and so on. It starts with the airport, by the way, in Cairo, along to the end of the journey in Sharm el-Sheikh, and along the whole journey itself.
They said that there will be robots who are sanitizing the place all the time, and who are taking the temperature of attendees, and that everything will be very much in control. How far are those reports true, and how do you view how the world will perceive such measures taken by Egypt?
Sorry, because I'm here busy with the organizing committee, so it's very loud right here.
Yes, maybe you did not hear me. I said that reports said that robots would be used for sanitizing of the places, for taking the temperature of attendees, for hello. Yes, I guess we'll be returning back to Dr. Mohammed Amer when we'll be able to return to him. And the opening ceremony of the World Youth Forum would be followed by a session on the COVID-19 as a warning to humanity and an opportunity to push forward development and cooperation among states. The 2 next days will cover climate change, future of healthcare, and behavioral and psychological repercussions of the pandemic, in addition to developmental experiments in face of poverty. Other topics would include the future of energy, sustainability of water security, global peace and security, post-conflict reconstruction, arts and creativity, and creating a safe world for women. Also, there is this simulation of the model of the United Nations Council for Human Rights would be taking place in this 4th edition. We are aware that this is the 4th edition, and there were 3 previous ones, and the main axis or axis of the forum is peace, innovation, and development. Definitely, the World Youth Forum is a huge platform for youth from the whole world to come and interact, discuss topics, know how they perceive issues that are taking place worldwide, causes, understand each other, because as a matter of fact, raising a dialogue among different cultures would really enrich the awareness of our youth and the awareness of the other, of knowing the real Egypt at large. This year, as the this annual work that has stopped, unfortunately, for the COVID-19 for 2 years, because the last edition was in 2019, is being held at the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh under the auspices and the attendance of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The President has always been keen to attend this youth forum and have a kind of transparent and direct interaction with all those youth. This kind of forum or forums are being held in order to boost, as we said, the discussion and dialogue on sustainable development, on the SDGs, on how the world are perceiving the Arab causes, the African causes, how the youth are perceiving a number of important problems that are taking place worldwide, and maybe come out with some of the solutions. The previous years we have seen a number of simulation to the Arab League in one, or the model of the Arab League, for another for a simulation to a model of the United Nations. A third one was for the Egyptian government, seeking to see how solutions for, or how decision makers would sit together in order to find solutions for problems. I guess that is part of preparing our calibers, not only to invest in their capacities and capabilities, but also to prepare them to be leaders, to prepare them to be decision makers, to interact with other cultures in order to understand how they are seeing the world and how the world is seeing Egypt. They also are intended to send pieces of messages or messages of peace and prosperity here from Egypt, and definitely the United Nations has adopted this big forum as an important gathering for youth in the Middle East. Particularly, we're speaking about the Committee of the Social Development, relevant to the United Nations. I think that, or this year is here. We're back together, and we are receiving youth from the whole world to portray how Egypt has dealt with the COVID-19, with world problems that made features that has already reflected on new realities or made up new realities to the world. The climate change, as Egypt also is or will be hosting the COP27 this year, which is another important conference that will be taking place in Egypt. The official inauguration of the World Youth Forum would be next Monday and will continue for 2 consecutive days, in which a number of recommendations are much anticipated. And usually the leadership in Egypt is always keen to listen to youth, to understand, and sometimes even adopting some of their important recommendations and having a direct contact with them. We'll be waiting and we'll be here updating you with a full coverage to the days of the conference throughout the week and the wrap-up of it. So I guess we'll be waiting for more to come in the few upcoming days. And that is an important platform for not only youth from the world, but also from the Arab and the African continent to get together to have a kind of understanding to their causes. I guess that brings us to the end of this episode of our program, Arab Affairs. Next Saturday will be another important Arab event or another important Arab development taking place. Until next Saturday, it's goodbye.